So, I'm trying something. I figured that usually Fridays are not that busy on the road. Like, my commute is fairly simple, not too much traffic. So I thought that I could maybe try to vlog on my way in and talk about stuff. See how it goes. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of quiet moments because, I mean, it's going to take me at least 30 minutes to get in. So I probably won't be talking the whole way. And my plan is to try to post these videos almost as is without editing. I'll see how this one turns out, see if I like it. And maybe, you know what, maybe I'll post it anyways and see how you like it, how it's going for you. Driving in a school zone right now, so I have to be slower and careful. And I want my coffee. The sun is quite bright today. So since this is going to be the first video of these Casual Friday videos, I was thinking about telling you stories about some of my first sketching memories and stuff. So I pretty much always wanted to be an artist. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be an artist or a veterinarian. I mean, isn't that what most kids want to be? Veterinarian or whatever else, like cop or ballerina or firefighter. Well, for me it was artist or vet. Because all kids love animals, don't they? Anyways, so I remember when I was about 6 or 7, I had this storybook that had this pen drawing of a little mouse in front of a tree house. Like the tree was their house. I think it was the tree. Anyways, and so I sketched it. I reproduced the drawing because I liked it, and I showed my mom, and she was convinced that I had copied it, like that I had traced it, putting my paper on top and then traced the outline. And I was telling her there's no way, I didn't do that. I drew it freehand. And so I went to get the book to show her, and we put my paper, like my drawing, on top of the book, and it was slightly bigger than the book. So that's how we were able to prove that I didn't copy, I didn't trace the image. I was so proud of myself that I was able to like convince her that I did it as well as a professional. And then later on, I think I was maybe 9 or 10 years old. We went to a cottage, the whole family, and my grandmother brought her boyfriend with her, and he was sick. He was living with cancer, and he was a quiet man. He was sitting. We were all sitting outside, and he was just watching people talk. And so it was kind of perfect because it was like he was posing for me. And so we had like these lined yellow writing pads. And I took one and drew his portrait, and he was really touched, and it really looked like him. I did a really good job. So I think that was my first official portrait that I drew, and I was so pleased that it touched him, that he was flattered by my rendition of his likeness. That was another affirming moment. And in school, in high school, I had one of my art teachers was such a sweetheart. She was so nice, and she really encouraged me with art. And apparently at one point, like, we had done these gouache paintings, and I've actually reproduced it. It's in one of my sketchbook tours. I don't remember which one. It's called Le Lecteur, the reader. So it's like that lone chair with a blue background and a candlestick with an open book on the seat of the chair. And a puddle of water underneath the chair. Because for me, that meant like you're kind of taken away into another world when you're reading. Anyways, so apparently one of her artist friends came to visit her and looked at all the paintings everybody had, and she mentioned that that friend liked my painting. So that was another moment, another affirming moment that I should be an artist. And I remember in school we had another art teacher one year, and I became like the student advocate, because at one point, like, he was he wanted us to do things a certain way, and then I explained, like, I told him, well, I mean, for us, this is how we want to do it. We're artists, we're expressing ourselves, this is how we want to render our piece. And he said, well, you guys aren't artists. And I remember, like, sort of arguing with him, saying, well, it's not because we're not professional artists or paid artists that we're not artists. And then he ended up giving in. So then from then on, people would come to me first to see if it was okay before submitting their art piece for final grading. I don't know if it happened a lot, but like it's a vague memory I have, and my memory is not all that good, so maybe I made it up in my head, who knows. And so and I ended up going into visual arts in Sept. Like I lived on the Quebec side, and on the Quebec side in Canada, after high school, you go to Sept for 2 to 3 years, and then you can go to university. And so, because of the kind of teachers that we had in our high school, we were considered advanced students. And unfortunately, our guidance counselor wasn't that great, because he didn't tell me that I could have prepared a portfolio and applied directly to the University of Ottawa in arts. So I went through Sept, and I remember the first month was how to mix your colors. And I remember in my class there was like the teacher just went over the primary colors and then the secondary colors, how to make purple, and then made us do like a color wheel chart, and which was fine, but was super freaking boring for me because I was already way more advanced than that. Well, that was rude. Somebody just cut me off. Where was I? Oh yeah. And then as we were doing these color wheels, one of the girls in my class lifted up her hand and asked the teacher, how do we make purple again? And that was like the moment I was thinking to myself, I am in the wrong place. I'm not gonna learn much being here. I was 17 at the time, and a little immature, because I was 17. I should have stuck it out. I should have stayed, because I'm sure eventually there would have been a point where I would have learned something. I mean, and even though I wasn't learning much there, I was surrounded by people who were artists. So I'm sure if you're watching this video, it's probably because you love art and you're an artist too. Whether you actually make art or not, you have an artist soul. I sincerely think anybody can be an artist. Anyways, so I could have benefited from staying in the class, in the program, for a year or two. Anyways, but I decided to quit because I thought, I'll do art on my own. I don't need school for art. So when I decided to quit, my parents told me, well, you have to get yourself a job because you're going to be paying rent. So I did. I went into retail, and it was a full-time job, and my full-time job at the time took all the creativity out of me. I got into just working and lost my artist. And that went on for years. Decades. I was never really able to get back into art all that much. I mean, I tried other things. I tried writing, and I tried singing, and playing the ukulele. And I was decent at all of those things. And I know if I really wanted to, I could do all of those things. Because, I mean, maybe it sounds pretentious, but I think that's true of everybody. If you're really into something and you want to do it, you can do it. Like you can become good at it. You may not be like a master or the best, and that's fine. Anyways, I digress. So decades go by, and then I hit my 40s and I was feeling a little lost, like I was going through, well, a midlife crisis, because there I was, midlife. And I was trying to figure out how to get back to me. Wow, this lady is super freaking slow. Lady, pick a lane. She was going 40 in a 60 zone. All right. So yeah, so here I was, midlife crisis going on, and I figured, you know what, maybe I should get back into art. I really loved art as a teenager, so maybe that's the key to get back to myself. So I got this book that had you try like different art styles in different sections with different colored papers and different tools. And I was going through it, and it was clunky, and I don't know. I've always had a hard time figuring out my color as well, and so like my whatever sketches I was doing weren't that great. And then I tried the section on watercolor, and it was on regular cellulose paper with student grade watercolor, but I fell in love. It was just the way watercolor moved on the paper, even though it wasn't the great paper. I had no idea at the time. So then I started doing watercolor, like a lot of watercolor. And I got back into art, and here I am today. Now, not every day is an art creation day since I've gotten back into art, and that was like 2019. But every day, whether I create or not, I think about art. Art is always on my mind. And I think, in a weird way, that's what has helped me progress faster. Because like even when I'm not creating, I'm thinking about art, I'm thinking about painting, I'm thinking about drawing. I look at things differently now. I look at the world differently. Like the way I look at scenes and compositions and shadows. And I think because I'm always thinking about art that way, even though I'm not creating artwork every day, it's helped me progress faster with my skills. So anyways, I spent a few months recently not creating, going through a difficult time with my mental health. And you know, people have this misconception that artists need to be tortured or depressed or going through some type of psychological drama to be able to create. Well, that does not apply to me. I need to be well to create. My darker times might inspire some of my artwork, but maybe not even, or it makes me just more sensitive to certain things. But I really need to be in a good place to create. So anyways, a few months ago, I wanted to get back into art. So I picked up my watercolor paints and I tried to paint a portrait, and it wasn't coming out right, and I was getting frustrated. So I figured, well, you know what, whatever. I've noticed that for me, it's good to take the pressure off of feeling like I have to perform at a certain level, and the best art supplies make me feel that way sometimes, because I don't want to waste them. So I figured, you know what, I'll just go with somebody was stopped. I'll just go with ballpoint pen and try to draw a portrait with that, and it worked out really, really well. I was actually quite impressed, so I decided to do this whole series of ballpoint pen art. So I started out with the executives at my office. So I sketched my director general and the 3 directors, and I did these 8x10 sketches of them, and they like them too. So now they're hanging at work, and I wanted to continue because I was really enjoying it, and I was seeing progress even from one to the other. So then I did the people that work at our assistant commissioner's office, and the assistant commissioner, because I used to work for the assistant commissioner in another branch a few years ago, and I really liked working for him. So I decided, well, I'll do portraits for them too. So I did 8x10 portraits of the whole group there. So they were so it was a total of 6 portraits, I believe. And they were impressed, and they hung it in their office. And it's really kind of cool because I've had a couple of people reach out to me to tell me that they really like my art, and I don't even know these people, and they felt compelled to write to me at work to tell me that they like my artwork, which is really cool. That's never happened to me before. And so now I decided to do a 5x7 portrait of all our managers at work. And once I'm done with those, I am considering possibly doing 4x6 portraits of all our employees. So in total, that'll be over 130 ballpoint pen portraits that I'll be making. And what I want to do with those is we're going to be hanging them all on one wall, have the whole bunch of people there, and when they eventually leave, because everybody ends up leaving for sure, they can take their portrait with them. So it's going to be this little parting gift for them. Either when they go, they retire, which one is about to retire next week, and he'll be taking his portrait with him, or if they change jobs, or unfortunately, with the way things are going with the federal government at the moment, if they lose their job because they've been cut. Anyways. And it was so sweet because one of the persons whose portrait I drew reacted really, really well to her portrait. She loved it and she hugged me. So I think for me, that's what art is all about. It's about how it makes other people feel and react. And it's gonna sound cliche, but I really do love bringing people joy with my art. And it brings me joy. Oh, I thought there would be way more quiet moments on my drive-in, but I guess not. So anyways, while for doing these portraits, I kind of started taking a little bit of a shortcut where after I print their photos to use as a reference, I use tracing paper and trace the outline of their form on my canvas, if you will. And at first I kind of felt guilty about that. I felt like it was kind of like cheating, but it's not. It really isn't. And I can confidently say that now because that one woman that reacted really well to the portrait, even though I traced her, I had to redo her portraits 4 freaking times. 4 times! Because I don't know, my line work was off and it looked weird, and yeah. And then there's another one that I've been trying to sketch, and I'm now on her 3rd portrait, and still, again, I traced her out too. So, my friends, if you want to do portraits, tracing the outline is not cheating. It's a tool to get to where you want to be faster, but it's not foolproof. Wow, some woman is putting on foundation as she's driving. I guess I've done that before. I've put on mascara while waiting at a red light before, when I used to wear makeup. Reserve your judgments. As long as she's not doing it while she's driving, just stopping at a red light, that's okay-ish, I guess. Arriving to the parking garage very soon, and hopefully today I'll get a spot, because I tried yesterday and I got to work at 10 to 8 and the parking lot was already full. In all fairness, 2/3 of the parking lot is under construction at the moment, so there's 2/3 less space to park. So I'm probably going to have to start taking public transit on Wednesday and Thursday to come to work, even though public transit from Canada to downtown Ottawa sucks big time. Woohoo! Parking spots. To go in with my van without scraping the side of my van like I've done before. Should I even try? Oh yeah, I'm gonna try. Well, there you go. Got a parking spot. All right. Well, that was the first Casual Friday video. I think I'm gonna post it, see how it goes. 32 minutes, not so bad. And I hope you enjoy. See you next time.